welcome back to Miss Amanda's Teen Videos. I'm Miss Amanda.
I'm Ashton.
And we're here to do some awesome crafts with you. And to throw a little spin on it, we're going to do a book discussion because, well, we like listening to music and we like reading. So this craft today, we will be doing fall jar crafts, which comes with a light. You want to hit that light real quick, Ashton?
Sure.
So, I'll shut this light off. And that is what your fall craft will be looking like. When you call us up at the Wilmington Public Library, you will get a jar and a bag full of tissue paper that I have cut up into individual pieces. You will get a cutout of a tree and a battery-operated candle. Isn't this awesome? All right. So, like I said, you will get, and you will also get a little vial of Mod Podge. Today, we will be using our sponge brushes to put on the tissue paper. This is the tissue paper. We cut out orange and red and yellow. So what I like to do is
Get our Mod Podge.
get our Mod Podge.
It's no G.
Mod Podge.
Mod Podge.
Mod Podge. Anyway, so we'll get the dry, crusty stuff off. And then your guys' little containers should have enough Mod Podge.
Mod Podge.
Mod Podge. And then you just kind of like goop it on. Do little parts at a time. And then you take the paper and you just kind of make a pattern. By the way, I have Pandora on, and it is called the Ray LaMontagne station. It's a pretty cool chill station. Now we put the glue on the jar, and now we're going to put the glue on top of the cutout tissue paper, like so. We're just gonna sponge it on there. Don't worry, it dries clear, so this white stuff won't be there, but we want to make sure that it stays on. See, this is all nice and shiny. I love spooky season. How about you guys? What's your favorite part of spooky season, Ashton?
Halloween.
Do you know what you're going to be this year?
I don't know.
It's very hard to pick out the best costume, isn't it? This is so fun, though. Who doesn't like messing with glue? When I was younger, I used to take my Elmer's glue and pour it on my hand and then let it dry and then peel it off. Did you ever do that?
No.
You're not a very messy person. Okay, so we put the glue on the jar, put the tissue paper onto the glue, and now we're putting a coat of the glue on top of the tissue paper. So, does anybody like Norse mythology, Greek mythology, any mythology.
I personally like Shinto mythology.
Shinto mythology, explain.
Yeah, from the islands of Japan.
Whoa,
Mhm.
from the islands of Japan.
Yeah, because everything else is kind of similar, you know? Norse, Greek, well, Roman is pretty much Greek, but all that's just kind of similar, you know? They all have, like, the same basis. Like, sun god is man, moon god is woman. You know, earth was, you know, death is, like, dark and grim and man, and then, you know, life is a woman giving birth. But in Shinto, it's actually pretty opposite.
Oh.
The sun goddess is Amaterasu. Then I forgot who the moon god is, but the god of life is Inagi, and his wife is Inami, who's the goddess of death.
Oh. I wonder if the library would have books on this.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure if we don't have it at the Wilmington Public Library, you can still ask for it and we can get it from our sister libraries. I am a big Norse fan and a Greek. In fact, Rick Riordan writes some really awesome books. And I'm pretty sure all of you read the Percy Jackson series, right? Well, if you didn't, you should read the Percy Jackson series because they're fabulous. And we will do a book discussion on that. But today, we want to do a book discussion on the Heroes of Olympus. There are 5 books in this series. Well, I'm pretty sure that he writes more
He's written a lot more.
Heroes of Olympus, but right now,
This is just the 5 of Heroes of Olympus,
yeah,
and then the other stories kind of connect.
it's pretty cool how it's pretty cool how Rick Riordan writes his stories and how they all connect. Like, if you guys are big Stephen King fans, they're all different stories, but in some way, each and every book that Stephen King writes, they all have a connection.
That's like the Dark Tower, right? So that's like the connector.
Yeah, and I love when a writer does that. So I figured I would read the backs of these books to you guys, and maybe you could get interested in them, or you might want to read them.
Yeah, I've read quite a few, and they're good. They're not supposed to be a complete like retell of mythology. They're just stories used on the basis of mythology. So not everything in here is like the original story and how it happened. So that's something to take into consideration. But they're still really good.
We do, however, have stories on like Hercules and Hades at the library. We have our own series of books that explains who the deities are. One of my favorite deities is Persephone and Demeter. I always love telling the story. Persephone is the daughter of Demeter, which she was kidnapped by Hades because Hades was so infatuated with her. I mean, he loved her so much. But he ended up kidnapping her and taking her down to hell with him and forcing her to be his wife, which made Demeter very sad. So this is why we have fall, because Demeter spent all this time looking for her daughter, and with Persephone being gone, everything died, and kind of went sad and dormanted, and she was so sad that Hades was like, you know what, I'm gonna let you visit your mom once a year. And so he did, and every time she came back up from hell, it was spring and lovely and beautiful. But then when she would go back, everything died and went dormant, and that's why we have fall. I think that's pretty cool. But another cool thing is that in all this chaos and kidnapping, Persephone grew to love the person or god that Hades was. And they actually ended up loving each other very much. It's a pretty cool story. But let's dive into one of these, shall we? How about The Lost Hero? Oh, I see that you were reading this.
Yeah, a while ago.
Okay. So, The Lost Hero. Let's read. Okay. Jason has a problem. He doesn't remember anything before waking up in a bus full of kids on a field trip. Apparently, he has a girlfriend named Piper, and his best friend is a guy named Leo. They're all students at the Wilderness School, a boarding school for bad kids, as Leo puts it. What did Jason do to end up here? And where is here exactly? Jason doesn't know anything except that everything seems very wrong. Piper has a secret. Her father, a famous actor, has been missing for 3 days, ever since she had that terrifying nightmare about his being in trouble. Piper doesn't understand her dream or why her boyfriend suddenly doesn't recognize her. When a freak storm hits during the school trip, unleashing strange creatures and whisking her, Jason, and Leo away to some place called Camp Half-Blood. She has a feeling she's going to find out whether she wants to or not. Leo has a way with tools. When he sees his cabin at Camp Half-Blood, filled with power tools and machine parts, he feels right at home. But there's weird stuff, too. Like the curse everyone keeps talking about, and some camper who's gone missing. Weirdest of all, his bunkmate insists that each of them, including Leo, is related to a god. Does this have anything to do with Jason's insomnia, or the fact that Leo keeps seeing ghosts? I don't know. But in order to find out, you guys should call us up at the Wilmington Public Library and get The Last Hero. We also have The Son of Neptune, The Mark of Athena, The House of Hades, The Blood of Olympus. Do you have any favorite stories
Like, what do you mean?
of Hades or Athena? You know, if you guys have any questions, you can always comment down below and ask us. We're pretty knowledgeable in the whole gods and goddesses. We read up about it a lot. You know what else? I will never not talk about Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a must. I made him watch Harry Potter a lot. We have Harry Potter days, but the Harry Potter books are just amazing. Ooh, and the Golden Compass series. Oh my goodness. I should definitely get that book and we should do the Golden Compass series. But if you guys would like to, Miss Amanda will read the books with you from Rick Riordan. And if you guys read the books and I read the books, then we can have a book discussion while we do crafts. Doesn't that sound like a good idea?
Yeah.
And if you guys ever want us to see us do another craft, just let us know. So if you're just chiming into the video, we are putting glue on the jar, then putting the tissue paper on the glue, and then putting glue again on the tissue paper.
It's not a live stream, silly goose.
Well, I'm just saying. Man, I usually have more stories, and I don't know, is it because of the camera that I'm like drawing a blank?
I have a couple stories.
Okay.
Yeah, so, let's see here.
It's a very interesting story.
The story of Hephaestus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Athena, she was a special case because she doesn't have a mom. She was born out of Zeus's forehead, which is kind of weird. And Hera got really jealous that he had a child by himself. So she was like, "Oh, sure, I'll make a child." And so she attempted to make a child, and he came out of her thigh. And not the way she wanted either. So all the gods are depicted as, perfect beings. They're, strong and have no weaknesses, and they're beautiful.
Okay.
Hephaestus was all the opposite. He was super ugly. He had a lame leg. He couldn't run. He was strong to an extent. So he was just, no one wanted him. So Hera's like, oh well, guess I'll just throw you out of Olympus. And then he got tossed down.
Sad.
Yeah. So the sea nymphs saved him, and other creatures were like, oh, well, why don't we teach you how to forge? And there he made the weapons for gods. And in his workshop, they were full of golden workers. So just workers made out of straight gold.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sick of the gods. He was sick of his mom. So he was like, how about I just get back at her? So he really loved Aphrodite. So what he did
Who
is
didn't?
he crafted a chair, and that chair, as soon as you sat in it, you couldn't get up. It was impossible unless he let you go. So he went back up to Olympus and was like, hey Mom, I made this great chair for you. And Hera, being the god she is, she's like, oh wow, stuff for me, great. So she sat in the chair and then she got stuck.
Oh boy.
And Hephaestus was just like, alright, here's the deal. I'm gonna marry Aphrodite, or you're gonna sit here forever. So she was like, uh-oh. And then, what else could she do? So she got them married, and that's Hephaestus' story. And then I
That's a really good story.
yeah, and Aphrodite didn't really like Hephaestus,
Yeah.
so she decided to go for well, she left Hephaestus and went to what's his face, Mars. I know that's his Roman name.
Athena went to.
No, Aphrodite.
Or Aphrodite. Oh,
It's God of War.
wait.
He's like a sore loser and a baby.
Not Achilles.
No.
No. He is a sore loser and a baby.
He's Mars in Roman mythology. You know that.
He's the war. He's the god of war.
Yeah, I know.
We can't think of the name. Google it. Let's see.
God of War will help. So that's a video game.
Let's see.
Just look up Mars, the god Mars. Mars the god.
Aries.
Aries, there we go. Yeah.
I did say Aries.
No, you didn't.
What did I say?
You said Achilles.
Achilles.
But yeah, that's that story. And Hephaestus is just ugly and lame, and
Well,
got left for the crybaby, and his mom still hates him.
I would love my kids no matter what. I mean, the gods did live a really weird life.
Yeah, they don't have the same customs as us.
No.
At all.
Everybody always thinks Medusa is a bad person, but she's not. She got cursed to be that way because she was like the most beautiful girl, well, beautiful goddess ever. And because somebody was jealous of her, turned her into a snakehead.
Yeah, the story
The Gorgonite.
She was in Athena's temple,
Mm-hmm.
and Poseidon was just like, oh, I want that, and then tricked her into doing stuff, and then Athena got really mad and turned her into a Gorgon.
I know. It's so sad.
And the only Gorgon that's not immortal, because there's 2 other Gorgons that are immortal.
You know what else is really sad? Even though this has nothing to do with gods or goddesses, though. The Little Mermaid. The original story by Hans Christian Andersen. Speaking about gods and souls and stuff. If you haven't read the original story by Hans Christian Andersen, the Little Mermaid story goes a little something like this. She had all her sisters and her father, Triton, and her grandmother, and every mermaid that gets to turn, when they turn 15, they get to go to the sea and see the world. Well, when it was the Little Mermaid's turn, when she turned 15, she got to go, but there was a storm, and there was a prince, and then she saved the prince, but then she didn't want the prince to see her have a tail, so she went in the water, and then this neighboring princess with her ladies-in-waiting saw the prince, and so he thought that she saved him. And so Marina was all distraught, and she went to the sea witch. And the sea witch said, I will give you legs for your tongue and your voice. But every time you step, it's going to feel like you're stepping on thousands of knives. So she did it, and she was in a lot of pain, and she was on the doorstep of the prince's castle, but she was the most beautiful dancer, and the prince fell in love with her dancing, but every time that she danced, she was dancing on 1,000 knives. Well, the prince's parents wanted him to get married to the neighboring princess, and he was like, no, I love the Little Mermaid. But he didn't call her the Little Mermaid. He goes, no, I love the little mute girl. And then they told the prince that, well, the neighboring princess was the one that saved you, and that changed his mind. And he told her, he's like, you know what? I love you. But the catch was, if she didn't marry the prince, or if the prince got married, the next morning, she would turn into sea foam with no soul. Just sea foam. She would just die and be nothing. Because mermaids live to be 300 years, and then when they're done, they turn into sea foam. They don't go to heaven or anything. So the prince got married. She's sitting there waiting for her death, but her sisters went to the sea witch, and they all cut off their hair for her sister. The sister just had to go and kill the prince. So the sisters were waiting, and she goes and she has the knife, and she's going to go kill the prince, but she just couldn't because she loved the prince so much. And she realized all the sacrifices that she made, all the knives that she was stepping on. It's just really cruel. So she went to the edge of the boat, waiting to be turned into sand in the sea foam, and then she did. But the gods saw her great sacrifice. The gods saw that she did all these sacrifices for the one that she loved. So the Little Mermaid actually got to be a soul and to help people out for 300 years as a soul. It's a weird story. Hans Christian Andersen. He has lots of other stories. I like him. All right, our jars have the tissue paper on. And this is what it looks like. So when your tissue is done, next you wanna put on the tree. You wanna make a spot in the middle of the jar and put on the tree, and then you wanna take you wanna put the Mod Podge on, and then you sit. I'm just saying it like that now. And then you put the tree on, and then you put the glue over the tree, and then there you have it, folks. So call us up at the Wilmington Public Library and get your jar craft today. And if you'd like, talk to us about these books, because next week we'll be doing another teen video, and we want some material to talk about, or we're just going to keep talking about the books that we're reading, and ask us questions. I think we did a pretty good day today.
Yeah.
We have our funky hats on. You know, tell your friends about us. We have plenty of jars at the library. I guess until next week.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we said that we were going to practice on our goodbyes.
Oh, I never knew.
Avitasen,
I think you said that last time, right?
Das Vidania.
That one too.
Then you say something in Japanese. I don't know. We're going to just keep saying it. Hola. Or...
It's hi in Spanish.
Anyway, bye.